lessons and laughter, faith in the mix. Every story a bond, every challenge a fix. Tune in, don't be late. 7 p.m. Fan trip, let's elevate. So come vibe with us. Take a seat, take a bow. We're diving deep beyond the vows.
Oh, ho, ho. Oh, oh, oh. I always wanted to say that. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, guys. Good day, evening, wherever part of the country you're in, or the world. You have entered the Beyond the Vows zone here at SKST podcast studios located right here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And let me just tell you, last week, a week for that, I had to do the show solo because this one here was sick. And I just realized I really need it. So I just want to reintroduce my Queen of Sheba, my Rose of Sharon, the lady who knows how to interpret tongues. Because when I met her, I spoke in tongues and she interpreted what I said. I said, come outside, I want to see you. And she came outside and she saw me. So she knows how to interpret tongues. So, honey, welcome back.
I'm glad to be here.
I missed you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you know, really sure I came home that night, but I still missed you.
Right.
Being here. and you watched the show. I was on my best behavior.
I didn't get a chance to see the show because I was heavily
medicated.
Yes.
Oh, well.
So I didn't.
You know, we had Antonio and Kim on. You know, they're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So they said I did really good.
Okay, well, that's good.
They said they want to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess they had to wait for the greatest to come. You're right.
Yeah, they want to talk about the real deep stuff. But yeah, but listen, guys, we want to just first of all say Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we look for a great new year to come. And this year has been really trying. As I said in the last show, you know, I lost both my brothers back to back. It's been really hard, and to know that I have a spouse that is there when I need her. So, you know, we all grieve the same way we want to grieve. But I do know when I do need a shoulder to lean on, or face to cry on, or is it face to cry on? Shoulder.
You're just messing it all up.
Okay. When I need
shoulder to cry
on, face to lean on. I like leaning on her face anyway. Excuse me, but I digress. Don't you see that? The nice fire? Look at her. Look at her setting. Isn't it nice? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. You know, I sang that song because I was riding in my car, and you know the car has that heater thing on it. You know, my seat was getting all hot, and I'm like, oh, chestnuts roasting. Anyway, so what we're gonna talk about tonight.
But before we go into our conversation,
we got a sponsor, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
No,
you go ahead.
Oh my God, Jesus Lord. We want to say that we are not professionals. We're just married.
Wait a minute, you better say it again.
We're not professionals.
We're just married. Okay, go ahead.
Speaking from our own personal experiences. And also want to shout out our sister, Cammie Grayson of SKST Radio. If you're interested in the podcast, please look her up. And the information will be down somewhere in between the four squares. We'll have her information down. Please give her a call. We have openings available.
Yes, we
So
do.
if
We
you
got
are
spots
available, we
got
say,
spots
come
available.
on down.
Come on down.
All right. And talk to Karen.
Yeah, 'cause this
She'll do you right.
yes, our podcast, our studios are immaculate. When I say
Really are.
immaculate, and to be the only Black-owned woman in the state
Yeah.
that owns a podcast studio, that is like,
Yes.
and she's family. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, so anyway, we want to talk about real quick our sponsor, which is deafchildhope.org. Deafchildhope.org, and we have become sponsors of one of the children of Deaf Hope Child International. There are over 25 million children in countries all over the world who are not only in poverty, but they cannot hear. They are deaf. And many of them, all of them, basically have never had a real conversation with another human being. And your support of deafchildhope.org, your sponsorship will help bring sign language instructors to these villages where these young children can have a conversation, and it's just, so go to that website, deafchildhope.org, look at that, and your 43 monthly sponsorship will give them food, clothing, shelter, and more importantly, it'll help them to come up with a language, sign language, so they'll be able to communicate. So again, deafchildhope.org. Okay, that's great. So we're in the Christmas season, and we've been thinking about. I was looking at something, and it was talking about Advent. Okay, and Advent means arrival. Okay, and we, it's a trying time for couples, especially when you want to exchange gifts and things like that. And it gets so commercialized, that we forget about the real reason for the season. Although we know, those of us, in theology, know that Jesus was not born during December, but that's neither here or there. The fact is that we recognize and we honor and pay homage to the boy child that was born to save the world.
Were you waiting for me to say something? No, you got it. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm good. I just you bounce off of me, honey.
Okay, so you need to talk about. There are a couple of things that we want to talk about on tonight, and sorry for the little pause in between.
That's because she was looking in my eyes and she got lost.
Okay, since we're talking about the Christmas season and the reason for the season, one of the things that Will was talking about Advent, and it's about reconciliation. And of course, we know that Jesus came on the earth to reconcile us back to God, and for us to get in our rightful place. And one thing I love so much about God is that He gives us all the opportunity. He doesn't force Himself upon us, but He gives us that opportunity to choose Him, if that's what we want to do, So if I'm taking it into a marriage perspective, it's time for couples to reconcile. Put away all of your differences. Put away everything that has caused you division or separation or any type of grief or any type of animosity in your heart. It's time to put all that stuff away, because y'all know what? Life is short. We may think that we'll be here forever and forever, but we won't, as we've already have experienced that.
Yeah.
But life is too short for us to have so much hatred and being disarrayed within our relationship. And it's really time for us to come together as a couple for real and stop playing games. You know what I mean? And really be honest about our feelings towards one another and all those other things that we need to share. It's really important. So as Christ was, as Christ is to God, that is how we should be with each other. Right. Not only just in marital relationship, but also in our own other personal family relationship. With our children, with our sisters, our brothers, with our cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, you name it, best friends, all of those. It's time for us to come together really and to really operate in the spirit of love.
Yeah, and the thing about, we talked about in marriage, what makes a marriage great is to be Christ-centered. You can't, whether you're in church or out of church, everybody that gets married gets those marital vows, which are biblically based. Even non-believers have to recite those vows, So marriage was instituted by God. This is nothing that man came up with. So, my thing is, if it's instituted by God, why would people take God out of something that he was supposed to put together? At the last part of this, it says, let no man put asunder. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So I just keep thinking, how can people be in a godless marriage?
Well, I think sometimes, maybe for some couples, not for everybody, because can't speak for everybody.
Right.
And the reason why it is the way that it is because maybe the person put up a front at the beginning, or and the reason why they couldn't maintain, or the reason why God is at the center, because if God is really the center of that relationship, the center of our lives, then we will act a certain way. We'll be more honest. We'll be more transparent, right? We'll be more able to be truthful. You know what I mean? So it's all those things that go along with it. It's not everybody, because there are some people that really care about each other and they really want to be together. And God calls them together. I saw something the other day, and it says that, the couple they were laying in bed, and then all of a sudden they began to say, you know what? We just realized that God didn't just put us together for just us, but he put us together to form a ministry that will help other people. And I thought about that, and how important it is for us to reach out to others. That is so important, just like we do community service, and we do community things with different outreach, with feeding those that are in need of food, or even giving out toys to children. That's the same way that we ought to be with each other, to help reach out. So whatever we have to reach out and give it to somebody else, because somebody else is going to need it.
Yeah, I think, because marriage is a community.
It is.
And it's incumbent upon everybody, to be examples. Not every marriage is perfect, but
God knows it's not.
But if we can strive for perfection.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to do. We want to be, we have our ups and downs and difficulties like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we're not perfect, and we sometimes we struggle. But at the end of the day, I would not ever want to live without her. I won't then ever want to even. That's not even in the equation. So whatever happens in a marriage, if it's important to you to stay with a person, be with a person that you believe God has brought you there, you do everything you can to stay in that.
You okay?
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah, plus something on my tongue. Yeah. Well, roasting on an open fire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So look, Maria. We talked about Advent, which is arrival. Okay.
Mhm.
So there are 5 ways Advent can transform your marriage.
We just said.
I know. I'm
Okay.
saying we're going back. We're going back. If you talk about Advent, it's reconciliation.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And even it doesn't have to be because there's been a disagreement or anything else like that. Let's say we started off, you started off hanging out on your date night every week, or there's certain things that you always did, and then as the years go along, things start to happen. You're not as faithful in certain things as you were before. Excuse me. And that so
You mean? Are you saying faithful, or do you mean consistent?
I'm saying you're not consistent
Okay.
in doing things that we said for instance, date night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's say it's had some years, circumstances happen, and you're not able to do date night like you used to, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
We will make a point to reconcile that. It's not a negative. Let's reconcile something that's positive that we do this. We want to make sure you understand that reconciliation does not always have to be something that's negative. It can be something that we need to bring back together. Like you said about making new memories. So Advent or arrival is all about loving with generosity. Okay? Loving with generosity. That means being generous with your can you be generous with your feelings?
Ask yourself that question.
Oh, no. Oh, women, no. Women.
Oh, what?
Oh,
What?
never do.
What?
I'm
Go ahead. Ask yourself that question.
generous with you.
You want to answer the question?
Don't put me on the spot. There you go again.
Why you saying?
I'm trying to help. We're trying to help somebody. This is not attack real time.
Oh no, not that.
Come on. Matter of fact, being generous. Our daughter's here from New York, and I have something. Come on, I have something that I want to give you. I'm being generous. Okay, I'm being generous. Okay, look at the camera, baby. That's my baby girl right there. Look at the camera. I say that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm being generous. Okay. Guys, be generous. Always be ready to surprise your spot, your spouse, your girl, your baby. See, I want you to open that up. Okay. This is the look that most guys have when they give their spouse something. And then we want the camera to look at her expression when she looks at it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, open it up, let everybody see it. Turn around, let everybody see it. Mm-hmm. So how you feel about that?
$5 cent. Where you get this from?
I got it from the
Roses.
no. I didn't go to Rose this time.
Ross.
Nah.
Marshalls.
Nope.
TJ Maxx.
Dollar General. So what I just did, you all, I already know after many, many years what my wife does not like. So I bought this today because I want to prove a point that you may not always get it right. Okay. But that doesn't mean you don't stop trying. Okay. So I know she's gonna re-gift this to somebody. Okay. Because and you know what she said, it's a $5. You see that? See? So women have no, they will just tell you, I don't like it. But you didn't do that for many, many years because I guess you didn't want to hurt my feelings. So,
Joe, see, this is the thing. After you've been with somebody a number of years, you give them what they like, not what they don't like.
Right.
So, all the years earlier in our marriage, when he gave me things I didn't like, I tried not to complain. But one year, I couldn't take it anymore. And I had to tell him because I was tired.
I was crushed.
No, you won't.
I was crushed. I'm like,
No,
all these
no.
years, I could have been buying something.
To me, it doesn't make sense to give me a nail file for a gift.
But you do your nails all the time.
But that's.
And then this bitch time you saying,
No.
where is my nail file?
That's
so
what-
I'm being practical. I'm just trying to get you what you don't have, But guys and girls, I did that to prove a point that exactly what she is saying that I had to learn was you give what you know they like. And it's like you say, you just keep doing it and you keep doing it until you get it right. There is no wrong gift. It's always you say, well, that's the thought that counts. And you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we need to put more effort into what we pour into our spouse. You just can't just give her any kind of thing. And that's the symbol. A $5 thought, if there's something really powerful I want to say to my wife, I'm going to think about it. And I want to say something that's going to edify her, not tear her down. This right here, but if she put this on, she'll probably break out in hives or something. So same thing it is when I want to give her some advice or just bounce something off of her. You got to think. You got to put a lot of thought and effort into what we say to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you'll just say something and you got to go back and either apologize for it, or I don't do that. But anyway, that was my example tonight of what not to give. So anyway, so getting back to loving with generation, it said God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believe in him shall not perish, but what? Have everlasting life.
And God gave the best gift. I don't know what that is, but that is not the best.
Oh, I know it. And that's why somebody else is going to get it. All right. So Advent also helps us live more transparent. So love means being utterly exposed and still entirely desired. What does that mean? Utterly exposed and still be desired. After so many years, and I'm not saying this for everybody, at least not for us. You can get to the point where it's just you take yourself for granted. You just take for each other. I know she's gonna come home. I know he's gonna come home. It just and something you said the other day, made a lot of sense, was we greet in the morning. We need to greet in the evening too, when we're apart from each other. Because the worst thing in the world is for something to happen and going, man, I didn't get that last kiss, or I didn't get that last hug. I think that's important. And guys, please listen to your spouse. They don't want to hurt you. And a lot of times we're stubborn. I'm stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's an idea that we didn't come up with. We're going to take credit for every idea. But she's smart. So, number 4, Advent helps husbands lead with humility. I always, when I'm doing shows or MCs and stuff, I always make this joke. I'm the boss in my house, and my wife gave me permission to do it. Okay, what does that mean to you, baby, about leading with humility?
Being humble, and not only just being humble, but also being the head that you should be. You know, giving your spouse a safe place to be. And I'm not talking about, you know, anything crazy, but give that person a safe space to be, and and letting their hair down, letting them be themselves, and letting them have an opportunity to be vulnerable without the other spouse joking or take you for granted or be slight because of this is the way that they feel. So it has to be some form of safety net that must be in place for that stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Number 5. So Advent helps wives respect and submit securely. What does that mean?
I feel like if a man gives me something to respect and honor, then that's exactly what it's going to get back. So if you pour into me the respect, if you pour into me humility, if you pour into me, you're going to get that back. So basically, like the Bible says, whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. So it's really important, especially for the head of the house, which is the man, and that doesn't take away from who I am, because I know who I am. I'm not even afraid of that. But it's just the mere fact that the head of the house have got to set that standard in the house. And then, of course, a role as a wife is to help keep that where it should be. It has to be established first. It has to be given. It's something that should be done, you know, so that when others look at you, they'll see, you know, the greatness of what you all have.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's real important, especially in the beginning or before you actually get married, is to define the roles. You know, this is what my role is as going to be as a husband. As opposed to me saying, and your role is, no, you would say what your role is, you know, and then we both will understand, you both will understand your roles going in so that there will be no surprises, you know, and somebody said one time about stipulations in the vows, like, yeah, like you said, to love, obey, and cherish, and it'd be like you said, well, if he ain't good to me, then I ain't got to obey him. There is no stipulation. It's cut and dry, you know. And this is what we're talking about. What goes beyond what we say in front of people, or in front of the judge, or in front of the church. You know, love with all your heart. You know, if your heart is broken, am I still obligated to still love with all my heart? You know,
is that something that can't happen?
No, I'm just saying that that's something that could happen, or you know, again, the obligation that we took or that you took when you get married, or whether you will take. Really think about that obligation.
I don't like the word obligation. I would say commitment.
Okay.
Because when you're married, you are committed. You're committing yourself, your whole life to this one person. And that is without outsiders. No outsiders, just you and that person. And so that is what's important. So it's a commitment, not an obligation. Now, I'm obligated to take care of kids because that's what I have. But I'm not obligated. I'm committed to you. That's a different ball game.
Because there are avenues of getting out that commitment if need be. You know what I'm saying? Which we don't like to talk about. So listen, we're gonna go in a little bit. We're gonna go to a commercial, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this Advent season, and the importance of having Christ in Christmas and having Christ in your marriage. Okay, and we'll be right back here on Beyond the Vows.
Hello, tune into Beyond the Vows tonight at 7 p.m. on SKST Radio Network TV.
Happy holidays from the Cammie Grayson PR Agency and SKST Radio Network and Podcast Studios.
Happy holidays!
We are back. So this has been a lively discussion about this Advent season and what Christmas, and what does Christmas mean to you, sweetheart?
Christmas to me not only means about Christ coming and being birthed and all that other stuff. Christmas to me is the gathering of our family, pulling us together and really pouring into each other. It's not about what type of, I ain't trying to be funny. This is not the type of gift I want. But I'm just being real and I'm being honest because I don't wear stuff like that. That's for children. You know
Wait a minute.
Hold it. I'm not done. I'm not done.
I got a question for you.
Because if I bought you something for a little boy, you'd be very upset. All right?
For a little boy?
For a little boy. This right here is for little kids, little girls. Yes, it is.
Little girls
Think
don't wear
about it.
perfume like that.
Yes, they do. You ain't even there yet.
Okay.
Oh my God. No, this is no. And I'm not a materialistic person. I want everybody to know that. I really am not. I really don't ask for anything. And I actually told him this year, do not buy me anything. Because all I wanted was for my family to be together. That's all I care about. And y'all have to understand it's so much deeper than receiving a gift. But the children are the gift to me. That's how I feel. I don't need anything material for them to show me their love. I just want them. Right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you have children or a significant other, you're just gonna love them with the love that God has given to you. And it's just like how God was able to give up His own Son. You know, it's just like I'm able to give up what I want to give my children what they need. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So with them coming and us coming together as a family, that means more to me than any gift ever. That means a lot.
Yeah. I mean, what about celebrating? You know, we there's certain times of the year that we celebrate something more than other times. You know, Christmas is about renewal, giving and receiving. Why can't it be 24/7, 365?
Well,
you know.
Well, I guess the thing about it is, like, for me, it's just the way I think. There should never be a time that we shouldn't give. Never be a time. And I'm not talking about a gift. I'm talking about giving of ourselves, giving up our time. But it has to be a balance, because especially in a relationship, if you give more care to others outside of your relationship and you don't give that same attention to your relationship, to your spouse, you are unbalanced. And it's not going to work out, because what's going to happen is, for instance, if you work 40-hour weeks and in the weekend you decide to take on more jobs for the weekend, then that causes you not to be at home. It causes you to be in the house late. It causes you not to go on any dates or anything like that. or too tired to spend time with your spouse, you need to really rethink what you're doing, because you're really in danger. Because, I mean, it's okay to want to have and to make that bread to take care of your household. But if you are not concerned about having a balance in your household, it's never going to work. And so one or two things are going to happen. You're going to look up one day and everything that you had is no longer going to be there. Why? Because you've never given attention to it. You never paid attention. You never given that spouse or that family that time that is needed. And I don't even understand how people can live in this la-la land. You know, I don't understand that. When you make a commitment, when you made this promise that I would cherish, I would love, I would respect, I would take care of this person, that's what it's
all about.
Yeah, it is.
That's what
Absolutely.
it's all about. You know, it's sometimes it's trial and error, but it's just making the conscious, decision that we're going to do better. We're going to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that works. And I love, learn to love more when you talk about communication. Guys, I'm a military dude. We're hard. And I grew up in a family where only my mother always showed us love, told us she loved us. My dad didn't do that so much. I guess he thought that his loving us was, making sure we had what we need. You know what I'm saying? And I think as I got older, I needed to hear that. I needed that. And even though I didn't hear it like that, I make sure our children, I tell them all the time, my boys, when we get on the phone with the boy, I love you, Dad, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like second nature. People say that. Same thing with people who have not had good examples in marriage. I grew up in a family where, God rest his soul, it was abusive, and a lot of times people can take the way they were raised and use it to justify how they are now. My dad didn't show me no love. He beat my mom, so I guess I'm going to beat my wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's a decision. It's a decision that somebody has to break the cycle. Somebody has to be determined that this is going to be a new way for me. I don't want to live on the old ways of what I grew up with or what I've seen on TV or something like that. So influences are really important.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I grew up in a household where there were two parents. My mom and dad, they've been married for over 40-some years. God rest their soul. They're no longer here, but they was definitely my role model. They kept us in the home, until we moved out on our own. They kept us fed. Wasn't a perfect marriage, because everybody goes through that down. But the thing about it that I'm blessed so much about my parents is that they stuck it out together, and there is nothing that my dad wouldn't do for my mom, and there was nothing that my mother wouldn't do for my dad, and for us. And that's one thing that I guess that's why I'm the way it's kind of like wherever family you came out of, your parents are responsible for making and molding you to either the man or the woman that you are. Now, granted, yes, some of us have been in some type of, our family have not been the greatest, but we learned a lesson, right? Yeah. We learned our lesson that we would never do our family the way
or learn what not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's imperative. It's imperative that we, as adults, that we do better.
Right. Exactly.
In every situation, financially, spiritually, physically, all those things that we do better. And don't say that you can't, because you can. The thing about it, you just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep it going. And never give up on it. I guess that's another thing too, Will, because sometimes when people are in marriages, they lose themselves.
Lose themselves?
Yeah, they do, because they, you can take a mom and that is a wife, and she gives everything to her children, to her husband, but when it comes to her, she's lacking, and she knows she is, but she has to do this. She has to do that because she has a commitment to her family, a commitment to her husband, a commitment to her children. And sometimes mama need a break.
Right. Yeah.
Especially when she does everything. And, it's just important that we don't lose who we are, and then for us to set boundaries so that we won't allow things to come in, because you know what, Will? Sometimes we as couples, sometimes we open up the wrong door, and sometimes things come in that we have to fight that it was not intended for our spouses to fight. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be careful, because every door is not meant to be open. Every window is not meant to be open either. That's why it's so important that we got to get that together and then put God in the center. Because once God is the center of our lives, then He can help us to do better.
Yeah, I heard something crazy today. Yeah, I was talking about how my grandma used to say, boy, once God closes the window, closes the door, he'll open the window. Like, I remember that back in the day. And I'm still trying to figure that out. If God closes the door, why would He open up a window? Unless there's something different. Because because a lot of times, depending on how wide the window is.
Well,
peek through the window.
The scripture says,
close the door if you're not going there. But I'm going to show you a little bit. I think about Moses. He said, yeah, Moses, you're not going to cross over. I'm going to let you see the promised land, but you're not going. And those old cliches, old things that, which some of them are very prevalent to this day.
Yeah, just like the scripture says, that God will open up the windows
of heaven
and pour you out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive. So sometimes if a door is, He'll do something else. He'll surprise us. Say, hey, this is what I really want you to do. Because we thought that the answer was behind the big door. But a lot of times the answer that we need is right at that window.
Right.
Y'all better get that. The answer right at that window.
It's like Monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So what do we have planned? So Christmas is coming in 2 days. 2 days, right?
Yes.
So what do we have planned? Go ahead. As a matter of fact, for what you had planned, I'm totally off.
Yeah, you were.
I'm thinking we're doing all this stuff on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Listen, I'm the type of mom that all the kids are grown, and they have their significant others, and they have then they have children as well. So how I would like to do it as a mom, because first of all, as a mom, you have to respect your children. You have to respect what they want to do and things that they want to do as well. So being that this is the holiday season, we can take out that one day, and I chose Christmas Eve was to have a pajama party, have some finger food, play games, have fun on that day, open up gifts, or share with each other, take pictures, play games, whatever the case is. But that's our time. And then on Christmas morning, they get to do whatever it is that they want to do. Because you got to understand, they are adults. And with adults, you don't tell other adults what you're going to do. And you have to respect them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You know, but that gets hard. I'll be
But
honest with you, that's really hard.
No, because you know why?
Why?
Because guess what? You wouldn't want your mom to say, hey, well, no, y'all gonna do this. No.
If she said that, I'd be right there.
No, not all the time. Well, everybody's not the same. But the thing about it is, I want my time, and then I want them to be able to spend their time.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have other grandparents, other set of parents that they need to see, other family members, you know, cousins and all that wonderful stuff. And they need that opportunity to spend that quality time with them too. So we have to share.
I'm still selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I miss my babies. And they'll always be the babies. You know what I'm saying? So that was good. That was really good. So we just want to make sure that people understand and couples understand that, you know, even like you said about getting stuff for each other, you know, we go in debt for that one day. You know, we put stuff on layaway for one day and still got pay on it for the rest of the year.
Not me.
You know, and I have a friend of mine, he and his wife, they give all year long. They said Christmas time we gotta give them because we've been giving each other all year long. You know,
we need to adopt that.
Huh?
We need to adopt
we could adopt that because it's like you don't have to open up a gift. You know, it's just a tradition, and believe us, we're not taking away from buying gifts. I'm gonna buy something. You're gonna buy, you know, we do that. But don't let that be your total focus.
Right.
You know, to where it starts to cause you gray hairs and make you depressed, and because you see everybody else we have had the greatest time as a couple giving to others. We gave away toys, we gave away food, and just to see the smiles on the people's faces and the kids' faces, it's just been phenomenal, you know. So that is the reason why we do what we do, you know, is to bless somebody else. And that's why, you know, I think it's definitely incumbent upon us, you know, we want to be a good example, you know. And we're not saying anything that telling you all to do anything that we're not trying to do. You know, the worst thing would be hypocrites. You know, I mean, and that's another title, you know, a bunch of hypocrites, you know, trying to tell you what they're not doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're transparent and let you know that we are work in progress.
We are.
And the journey has been worth it to me. How about you, baby? It's been worth it. And we're going on 14 years, right?
Excuse me.
14 years.
It's a little warm in here.
Oh, turn the fire down.
Excuse me. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I got a little warm.
You need mouth to mouth? Well, you ain't got to shake your head like that. I'm pretty good at that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. But we enjoy what we're doing, and we're really grateful to each of you who join us every Tuesday to hear what we have going on. I love this chemistry with my baby.
Excuse me.
And I always miss her when she's not here, but that's just the one time. Don't make a habit of it.
Well, I couldn't help it last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So listen, go to Beyond the Vows skstv@gmail.com and send us what you all have done for Christmas. And so before we go up the air, you know, you don't have to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's resolution. What, and that being a resolution, honey, What is something you're looking forward to in the new year?
I'm looking forward to making better memories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm looking forward to enhancing our family. And just to be better, you know, because every day that God gives me, that's what I'm going to focus on. Is on being better.
I'm looking forward to, and it starts now, don't have to wait till the new year, making better decisions for you, family, for my community. You know, I'm looking forward to analyzing, you know, before acting. You know, I act out of my heart. You know what I'm saying? And let me just tell y'all something. There's 3 things that my wife would tell you not to do. You don't mess with her money, her children, or her man. So,
oh my God.
that's a little commercial I took. But yeah.
I did say that.
Yeah, she didn't say that. She'll tell you that in a minute. Yeah, go. You don't mess with none of that.
No, because the thing about it is, you know, all of this is given to me. And once that line's been crossed, I got a problem with you. And don't let the sweetness, don't think that won't cross that line, because I will, boo. Okay? I will cross that line.
Look,
you know,
you'll see her face like that. When she does like that, she is serious.
I know. I'm. God knows I am. I'm the nicest person in the world, but do not cross me, because once you cross me, that's it. I ain't no coming back after that.
No,
I'm just being real.
Oh, don't mess with my money, my man, nor my children.
Amen. Don't do it, boo.
Don't do
because
it, boo.
I'm telling you, sister to sister. Okay, I run this. Okay, you cross, you gonna get across. Okay, yeah. All right.
They're gonna go to you, and you heard it from the mouth. You should have heard it from the mouth.
And the thing about it is, you have to protect what's yours.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know any woman in the world that won't protect what's hers. Because I'm going to protect what's mine. Okay? And I'm not scared. Oh, yeah. I'll fight. That's one thing I love about Jesus, because he fought for us, okay? That's the same.
But he didn't use his fist, though.
Oh, he used more than his fist.
Except when he's in the temple now. He tore that temple up.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He tore that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But the thing about it that I love so much is that he loved everybody so much to give him a chance. Right. Well, if they didn't want you, that's fine. But I'm telling you, don't cross. Don't cross me. Because you're going to get it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, join us every Tuesday. We're looking forward to a great year. Come in, and we just, from our house to your house, we just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And a great new year.
Yeah.
And look for great things, you know. Look for great things. And those of you like myself who have gone through some tragedy, losses, and stuff like that, you know, just take time. Don't let anybody tell you how to grieve.
Right.
Don't let anybody tell you how you're supposed. You know, I actually had somebody, and y'all gonna flip out. Y'all gonna flip out on it. I actually had somebody tell me, "Oh, it's a good thing that you a preacher, because if you were a preacher, I don't know how you would have handled losing 2 brothers." And I wanted to say something so bad. I looked at my wallet and saw my PTSD card. Mm-hmm. I said, "I won't go use it." I'm like, what does being a preacher have to do with my hurt?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody, it doesn't matter. I mean, when things like that happen, it's not, well, I'm not going to them because they this. I'm not going that way because of that. No, it happens to us all.
Right.
You know, so I mean, we're all human. You know, no matter what your title is, you are HUMAN, human. Okay? You have feelings, you have a consciousness, At least some of us do, right? Okay. Yes, you have a conscience. That's right. And there are things that you're going to deal with, that you're having issues with, or whatever. You are human, but God shows us in His Word how we should handle different things when they come. But it's up to us, us humans. It's up to us to handle it in the best way possible.
Yep. And in the vows, it never said that when the other spouse is going through something terrible, that you have to understand. So when you all are going through something, especially my brothers, you're going through something that's really bad, even though your spouse may not be able to fix that situation, just have a consolation that they're there. My wife cannot take away my pain.
Absolutely not.
That I have gone through. But I know if I need a sounding board, I know she's there. So, and I make sure she knows that maybe you can't fix this, but I'm glad you're here.
And also, for our ladies out there, because a lot of us sometimes are going through some things too. And to know that you have your spouse here to lean on and to depend on, that's really, really important. And not only that, and I'm asking all our brothers, all of our men out there, listen, sometimes women have a hard time really trying to open up, because sometimes, because you are the man, and sometimes you don't allow us to. But I'm asking you, allow that woman to open up to you. You'll discover more treasure on the inside of her if you let her open up to you.
That's right. Just like a pinata.
You know what, Will? I got your pinata.
I mean, not really hit you with a
No.
stick.
I got your pinata. You wait.
But I like when I hit something.
Will.
Everything just.
Will.
Right.
Beyond the vows, sir. Beyond the vows.
Okay. All right. But listen, in the new year, we're going to talk about some subjects that are deep subjects. We're going to talk about, for those of you that are under 18, we're going to talk about sex in marriage. We're going to talk about just oral, anything. We just want to be open. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things that, so religious, they don't know. They don't talk about that.
You better talk about it.
But we're going to talk about it, and we're going to have some experts in the coming year, in the new year, that's going to really talk about Beyond the Vows. So anyway, it's been a great show. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We pray that you have a prosperous Christmas, and look forward to a great new year here from myself, WC, and my beautiful, beautiful bride. She'll always be my bride, Maria, here on Beyond the Vows, beyondthevows.skstv@gmail.com. And we want to hear from you. Okay, we want to hear from you. And again, we also want to thank our sponsors, deafchildhope.org. Go on the site today, sponsor a child. So listen, we'll see you next week after Christmas.
Yeah.
Just do that. And remember, we're not experts.
We're just married.
Some kind of way. 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 You make me feel. You make me feel. Some kind of way. Some kind of way. Some kind of way. Yes, you do. Some kind of way. In sickness and in health, I will. Some kind of way. For richer or for poorer, I will. Some kind of way. In sickness and in health, yeah. That's great. That's good. That is good.